there are different levels of muscle testing. So one can muscle test. I could muscle test just the lovely fill in the blanks nervous system. I can muscle test and ask to talk to the best and highest part of them. And I could muscle test sometimes, especially when I'm getting kind of wonky answers for someone, I'll muscle test through something higher. And usually I'll be quite specific and say, I would like to talk to the part of the universe that knows everything and has everyone's best interest at heart and absolutely is on side to help this person feel as best as possible, something along those words. But if we look at the science of it, because you know me leaning on science when things feel wobbly, once two things become connected, they cannot be disconnected. That's what quantum entanglement says. So that's why I told you about the yogurt test. I don't want to bore anyone. It's not a quiz. So I actually saw the video of this. It was really quite cool, where it was men in lab coats looking very awkward, and they took a giant container of yogurt and they stuck basically like an EEG probe in it so they could like see what was happening electrical wise. Yogurt, not a lot going on. It was pretty sedate. And then on camera, they scooped out a bunch of yogurt, put a probe in it that was wireless, and then they shut that in a safe so they could still see what was going on with the second yogurt, but the yogurt couldn't see what was going on outside of the safe. And again, the yogurt, pretty sedate lifestyle. And then they took a giant syringe full of sugar syrup and injected it into the first bowl of yogurt. And that yogurt got what we would say very happy. It got very active. It got super excited in a lot of ways. And in the safe, the yogurt that nothing was happening to got very, very whatever in the same way at the same time. Once two things are connected, they cannot be disconnected. And they're finding that with potatoes, and they're finding that with shoes, and they're finding that with human brains. So on one level, I could say that at its base level, muscle testing is about quantum entanglement, which is pointing to the idea that once we are connected with each other, we cannot be disconnected. They haven't figured out how to do it. They haven't found anything that disentangles once it's entangled. And that means on one level, we are literally never alone. We cannot be alone. We are connected to all the people, and we are more connected to the people that we are thinking the same things at the same time. So you will be more entangled with the people around you on the screen right now. You will be more connected with the people you love. And you can access them at any point in time. Now, I know that's different than I want to call you and have a cup of tea. I do understand that. But when we're switching over from walking to running, when they first were able to shoot film and take faster photos, they always thought that horses had one foot on the ground at all time. There was no way they couldn't have one foot on the ground at all time. And then when they finally took film footage and they realized that there were points in time where this horse was flying. But in order to do that, to go faster, farther, it had to give up a certain sense of comfort and knowingness in one foot on the ground at all time. So if we're going to be able to be connected and know we're connected on this level, to a certain extent, we have to lose the sense of comfort of thinking that sitting and talking to someone is the closest we can ever be with them.